In a world of real-time media and real-time bidding, effectiveness in a lower cost does not equal efficiency in terms of lower cost results. And actually what you see here is an actual analysis of a campaign. This is repeated across every campaign. The little blue crosses indicate points at which large numbers of impressions were bought and the corresponding CPA that those impressions drove. And what you can actually see is a relationship that where higher priced impressions drove more effective conversions in terms of lower cost. And the reason for this is there are lots of different attributes associated with an impression on a single site, let alone across millions of sites in a real-time exchange. And things such as content and context and placement really matter. So what's the solution? The solution is not just to say, well, let's pay a higher price for all impressions. You know, we're just back to the example on the left here, and you'll have a higher price per conversion. You have to be able to price each of these impressions individually, and rather than the focus being on cost, the focus has to be on value. And the key skills here are science and technology capable of using that science hundreds of thousands of times per second. Now, back to that revolution. You know, we've talked a little bit about real-time bidding here, but of course the use of data and technology to create real-time experiences is not limited to the real-time exchanges. And I think that real-time media is going to permeate all aspects of how brand advertisers will buy media and how leading content owners will actually sell their inventory. And there's really been a false dichotomy that's been holding this back. People have thought, do I have to choose between audience-based buying and selling or content-based buying and selling? And the choice is really not a binary content or audience. It's an and, not an or. Real-time data and premium content can be combined and will be incredibly effective. This has been done today, and the technology that will support sort of more systematic organization of audiences across very disparate publishers will enable more of those dollars to flow online. It's not just a matter of wanting to spend more online, it's also a matter of being able to do so efficiently and effectively. So where does this all take us? This sort of multi-screen addressability and relevance that was thought to be decades in the future. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this.
Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you?
Mr. Yakamoto.
So, the movie Minority Report was based on a short story written in 1958. That story projected Minority Report in the year 2054. And the movie was actually released in 2002, 10 years ago. All of the technology there exists today. And while at Quantcast we don't use any personally identifiable information, so no iris scans, the back-end computing already occurring is every bit as advanced as this seemingly futuristic example. For some context in terms of what takes place behind the scenes to make real-time media operate and create relevance for hundreds of millions of consumers simultaneously, consider this. Our real-time systems handle upwards of 400,000 transactions every second. And there's more than 10 petabytes. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. There's more than 10 petabytes of data being processed by our systems every day to make each of those individual advertising impressions relevant.